Hi!
My name is Rebecca Hillers.
And I'm Roger Hillerstrom, and this is Pink Chair Therapy. Rugged though it be here. Okay, so in this video, we are going to introduce the mastermind, the brains behind this whole vlog cast, and my daughter, Rebecca Hillerstrom.
Right.
Becca, you have been through so many things. You have done so much over the course of your short life. I don't know how we're going to capture it all in a video, but how about if you start us out and begin running us through some of where you've been?
Yeah. Okay, so I obviously am a hairstylist. That's the whole concept of pink chair therapy. But I am now working as an accountant in downtown Seattle.
Yeah, but wait a minute, because I'm thinking that makes you sound fairly boring, and you are far from that. So I tell you what, how about if you start with Sweden and work your way forward?
Okay. Yeah, good call. Okay. Rewind. Out of high school, I moved back to the homeland, my grandparents' homeland of
all
Sweden.
The roots. Yeah. Right.
I went to Bible school and I was studying outdoor education, which really encompasses a lot. We're doing, everything under the sun.
Oh my gosh. We don't have time to talk about all the specifics, but what was the most exciting thing you did?
Definitely the most exciting thing was we did a 2 weeks expedition. We all drove up to Lapland and then we skied way the crap out into the middle of the mountains, and we set up a base camp, and we were out there for a couple weeks telemark skiing and climbing mountains. Not every day, but pretty much every day.
But the pictures you guys sent back, it was like something out of National Geographic.
Yeah, so that was definitely the most exciting trip that we did. But anyway, so went to school in Sweden. When I moved back to Seattle, I was already licensed as a hairstylist. I actually already had a job, so I just jumped back into the salon, worked as a stylist for a few years, ended up moving to California, lived in LA for a couple years, and when I moved to LA, my clientele in Seattle was so loyal and so panicked when I moved.
She's moving!
Yeah, so I actually kept my established clientele mostly in Seattle, and I was flying back and forth. Every couple months I came home for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and I would just bust out 12 to 15-hour days, just get all my clients through, go back to LA, and then just work really fun day jobs really down there. So when I was in California, I worked at this really cool specialty balloon shop. So in perspective, when I say balloon shop, it's not like a party store. It was like the most incredible balloons you've literally ever seen in your entire life. We planned full parties. So we planned these really cool balloon decor. When I say balloon decor, I know you don't have the right picture in your head because you can't. It was just like mind-boggling parties. They were so beautiful,
for some extremely famous people. I know you can't mention names.
I'm just going to avoid it because that's obnoxious.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, pretty
very,
extravagant,
very cool.
But very, very cool. That was one of my favorite jobs I've ever had in my life. That was very cool. Yeah. And then I was a counter girl at Barney's in Beverly Hills, which was just as fancy as it sounds and just as horrible as it sounds.
But it doesn't sound that horrible, but I don't know those things.
Yeah, right. It was cool. It just wasn't the balloon shop.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But then you came back? Right. You came back home
from California, moved back to the Pacific Northwest, and total lifestyle change. I jumped into being a rural mail carrier just outside of Bellingham, which was legitimately the best job I've ever had in my life. And if it paid more, I would still be doing it.
Yeah, right.
Because I loved that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then from there, fast forward, I transitioned to the corporate world doing admin work, and that's where I trained into being an accountant, and that's where I am now.
And that's a little more interesting than just saying you're an accountant.
Right.
It's a little story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, just summarizing, you are, by personality, by temperament, and by passion, you are an adventurer. And there's always another horizon that you're heading for. And what you just gave us is just, I think, a small glimpse of how that has played itself out in your life.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Quick picture was sent back to us when you were in Sweden. And it's a picture of the top of a cliff.
Oh,
yeah, top of a cliff. And up over the cliff, there are these two hands that are just gripping the edge of this cliff. And those hands were all kind of banged up and gnarly and scarred, etc. But they had these cute little little pink fingernails, all manicured around the top of those fingers. And that is a great picture of you.
I think so.
That mixture of this hardcore, bring it on, move forward personality that also has this very soft feminine side to it. That is Becca.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was very fun to get.
Yeah, that's a good picture. That's funny. So that's kind of a snapshot, I guess, of my career path, if you can call it a path. Mm-hmm. But personally, also that's very important, I guess, from my perspective of life. But I was married for a few years. And that marriage ended because of a sexual addiction and all the consequences that came with that, of course. Right. That being said, before I say anything else, I just want to make it very, very clear that I have absolutely the utmost respect for my ex-husband and how he handled everything through our marriage and divorce and his recovery. And I have spoken directly with him. He knows that I'm going to be sharing publicly. He has chosen not to share publicly for himself for personal reasons, and I totally respect that. And so as I'm going forward in this, I know it's really important for me to honor my own story and honor my recovery and opening the door for other people to be more vulnerable with themselves and their loved ones. And so I'm definitely going to be maneuvering around, staying as respectful as possible to him and his decisions right now. So we'll see how that all pans out, but
right.
That is obviously important in how it shaped me as a young adult and shaped how I view life and how I approach life and how I approach people and how I approach men especially and everyone. You know, it's shaped so much of who I am, so that's obviously important to know. I don't love identifying myself as a divorced person right off the bat, but obviously it's an important part of what shaped me.
Well, and I gotta say too that just on the heels of that, I have a great deal of respect and admiration for the way you have handled your own recovery and that whole process. And I think that process, you have a lot to offer our listeners, all of you out there. There is a lot that, Becca, you have worked through in that whole process that will help both giving hope as well as strategies and insights to other people going through a similar process. I think you have an awful lot to offer as we go forward on this journey.
Yeah, and I think kind of on the heels of that as well, we're all recovering from something. Right? Whether it's sexual trauma or and any number of other traumas.
Childhood stuff.
Yeah. We're all recovering from something. And so I think, in hopefully in my vulnerability and being able to share about my struggles and my recovery through many different things in life, I'm hoping that will open the door for other people. Yeah. And I think it'll translate very well into many different life experiences.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're starting on quite a journey here with lots of moving parts to it.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
And the other people, your clients that will add kind of fodder for us to kind of ponder and explore together. I think all of us together will have quite a ride ahead of us.
Yes, and if you don't understand what he's talking about, you haven't watched our other videos and don't know what pink chair therapy is, check out the other videos we've posted introducing Per Roger Hillerstrom, our psychotherapist, and my dad, and also introducing the whole concept of pink chair therapy and exactly what we're doing. So check out those videos. Like, share, subscribe. And we'll see you in our next video.
We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for joining us. I
don't know what that word was.